UFC Tampa is this Saturday. Joaquin Newmansa Buckley versus Colby Chaos Covington coming back after a year layoff. Before we get into this breakdown, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe to Everyday Damage. Every little interaction helps me out to grow this channel, so please like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into it. First off, let's get into the man who is riding a 5-fight win streak, guys. Joaquin Buckley has been on a roll ever since losing to Chris Curtis. He's won 5 in a row. Andre Fiallo, Alex Morano, Vicente Luque, that was a super impressive win. Nursultan Ruzabov, that was that 6'4" giant Russian that he fought. And then Stephen Thompson, that was a super impressive victory back at UFC 307. Right hook explosive in the third round to put Wonderboy out. Joaquin Buckley debuted at 185. We all know he had the knockout of the year, that spinning back kick where his foot got caught, and then he exploded and spun for the heel kick. Who was that he fought? That guy fights in the PFL now. That was Impa Kasanganai. Okay. That was his knockout of the year. That was like his big moment. Then he had some wins and losses after that, but now he is on a roll at welterweight. I think that has really turned things around. What is at stake for Joaquin Buckley with a win over Colby Covington? Not necessarily a title shot. That's going to be Shavkat Rakhmonov next, but he puts himself in the conversation. And if he was to get the title shot, I don't think we can be mad. Shavkat may need surgery, so Bilal might sneak a defense in there against Joaquin Buckley. If you look at that division, who are the top guys right now? You have Kamaru Usman, you have Jack Della Maddalena, you have Shavkat, you have Ian Gary, right? Colby Covington, Sean Brady, Gilbert Burns. Usman hasn't fought since he lost to Hamzat, is on a 3-fight losing streak. He's probably not going to get the title shot. He might, but I would say probably not. Ian Gary just lost to Shavkat, so he's not going to get it unless he gets another win. The only guy in there who I think might sneak in a fight if Bilal wants one, if Shavkat can't fight, would be Jack Della. Jack Della is probably more deserving, but nonetheless, Joaquin Buckley puts himself in the conversation. Absolutely puts himself in title contention. What makes Joaquin Buckley so good? He has a very well-rounded game. I would say predominantly likes to keep the fight on the feet, but he will mix in some explosive takedowns every now and again just to keep you on your toes. We've seen that in a lot of his fights at welterweight. But what he really relies on is that power and explosion. That Vicente Luque fight was brutal. The way he finished him with ground and pound, very, very nice. Vicente Luque is no scrub. He has been very up and down lately, but he did just get a win at UFC 310 in like a minute and a half. So he is still a very good win. And at that time, I thought Vicente Luque was going to beat Buckley. Then you have the fight against Nursultan Ruzabov. That was where Joaquin Buckley really showed his diversity. Yes, that guy is not a super known name. That was the first time I actually saw him fight. But Joaquin mixed in the takedowns beautifully. He really set them up with his striking. Again, very explosive striking. And then he would shoot in for double leg. He loves an explosive double leg. That is his go-to takedown. He's not the most skilled grappler, but again, that power and explosion and mixing the whole game up. Then you get into the Wonderboy fight. Right hook knockout, 2:17 of round 3. It was a very close fight up until that point. Again, I picked against Joaquin Buckley. I thought Wonderboy was going to win. I feel like Wonderboy usually does not lose to guys unless they have very elite grappling. We've seen that obviously. Tyron Woodley, Gilbert Burns, Shavkat, like we've seen that over and over. The last guy who I remember who beat him in a stand-up fight, obviously he has been knocked out by Pettis, but it wasn't like he got picked apart on the feet. That doesn't happen to Wonder Boy. He did lose to Darren Till, but again, that was a super close fight, and it was in Manchester. Like Wonder Boy, if you're gonna fight him on the feet, he's usually gonna win that. We saw what he did to Kevin Holland, and I just didn't see Buckley being able to land that kill shot that he landed in the third round. Um, so that was another thing. He really showed his finishing ability and his killer instinct on the feet. It was the third round of a close fight, and he got Wonder Boy out of there. Very impressive. 5-fight win streak. He was supposed to fight Ian Machado Gary. As we know, Ian Gary got pulled to fight Shavkat last weekend. That would have been a great fight as well. Again, I would have picked against Buckley, but every time I pick against him, he proves me wrong. Now slides in. Fucking Honda ad. Now slides in Colby Covington. Okay, let's talk about Colby. He is 36 years old at this point. He has been on a year layoff. Before that, he was on a 2-year layoff. Almost 2-year layoff between the Masvidal and Leon Edwards fight. Okay, so let's look at his last 5 fights. You have the first fight with Kamaru Usman. Man, that's crazy. He's only fought 5 times in the last 5 years. I wish Colby would have been more active. You have the loss to Usman. This is when Colby's at his peak, right? Then you have the win over Woodley. That was a Woodley who was a shell of himself. And I'm not saying any of this to take away from Colby. Colby still looked, at this point, very impressive. Then he had the rematch with Kamaru, lost the decision. Very close fight. Very close fight. I did think Usman won, but very close fight. Jorge Masvidal, he absolutely dominated Masvidal for 5 rounds. Just put on a wrestling clinic against him. Very high-paced fight. Masvidal had one moment in that fight where he dropped Colby to a knee, but that was it. Okay, then we have a damn near 2-year layoff, and he gets the title shot against Leon Edwards. A lot of people were upset about it because the last guy he beat was Jorge Masvidal, who at that point retired. And then Tyron Woodley was his last win before that. He just wasn't active and didn't put anything together to get that title shot. But he got it off of his name value, which was fine. It is what it is. The Leon fight, I believe 2 judges 50-45, 1 judge 49-46, or it was 50-45 across the board. Colby looked like a shell of himself in that fight. The problem is we don't know why. Is it because he is old and washed, or was it because of ring rust? He was out for almost 2 years. There's a lot of factors that could have played into that, where we just have a lot of unanswered questions about him at this point. The thing that has always made Colby special is his volume on the feet. He's not a knockout puncher in any way, shape, or form, or a super precise guy on the feet, but he will throw 400 strikes in a fight and just kill you with that pace on the feet. And then when he gets on the ground, Luke Thomas has talked about what he likes to do is get to like half control positions. So you'll see him a lot have a guy down on one knee up against the fence. He won't completely take their back. He'll put like one hook in, control a wrist, ground and pound. He likes those half positions because he can work from there and really break guys down and wear them out. We saw that in the Robbie Lawler fight, in the Masvidal fight. Every win that Colby has had since he has really entered his prime, fast pace, ton of volume on the feet, and then those half positions on the ground to really break you down over the course of the fight. That was non-existent against Leon Edwards. Leon actually did the opposite to him. Leon took him down at one point. Leon basically stuffed every shot of Colby's up until the 5th round. I think Colby did land one. Um, but yeah, Colby looked washed and like a shell of himself. So this fight is really a fork in the road, do or die fight for him at this point. But it's a very, very good fight, because there's so much at stake for both guys. If Colby beats Joaquin Buckley, he beats a top 6 or 7 welterweight, puts himself right back in the mix because Joaquin Buckley is rolling right now, and Colby with a win is really never out of title contention because of his name. He has so much name value. Colby versus Bilal, like Colby, he will make a show no matter what, and people will pay to see him. So he's always really 1 or 2 fights away from a title shot. But if he loses this fight, I think that is it, because of how poor he looked against Leon. If he puts up a good performance against Joaquin Buckley, you never know. But if we're going off his last performance, I think that would be it for him, at least at the elite level. And Joaquin Buckley, if you get a win over a Colby Covington, that gives you, again, so much name recognition and another guy to add to your resume with a big name. So then you have Wonderboy, Vicente Luque, and Colby Covington. Those are 3 very well-known names in the space. Will it be over any elite guy? No, but 6-fight win streak, you will be on your way towards a title shot at that point. And if Colby looks good and Buckley gets the win, even better. But there is so much at stake for these guys. With Buckley, it really is a potential future for a title shot, but bare minimum puts him, very close in that line of guys. And then Colby, if he gets a win over Buckley, who's rolling, it puts him right back in there because he's always 1 or 2 fights away. Great fight, guys. Tampa is getting a banger. The rest of this card is a little bit weak. I will be there, so I am a little bit upset about that, but I will be very excited for the main event. And like I said at the beginning, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe for me. Every little bit helps me to grow this channel. I really appreciate it, and we will be back with another video soon.